I'm ready to go right. I'm ready to go right. I'm ready to go right now. I hate having to read on stream or for YouTube because I always dislike my voice. My voice doesn't carry far, and because of that, I'm always told that I am mumbling or that I need to speak up. There are people telling me they cannot hear me, so I would have to constantly repeat myself. Also, when you are soft spoken, you can't just talk louder to make people hear you. The main reason I can't do that is because voice train is a thing, and I would be forcing my voice past the point it is not used to. Thankfully for videos and streams, I have a mixer and a microphone that helps with getting my voice heard. Again, my voice is still not something I care for because it is hard to ever really like your voice. I have to listen to it a lot more than I used to because of having to record every week, and trust me, I'm always arguing with myself. So sadly, the voices are always winning, but not really in the way you should be concerned about. But a lot of times it is just hoping that I redid a line because it isn't as clear as it should be, or it doesn't make much sense. Now, unless I redid it in the recording 9 times out of 10, I am not going to do a retake while editing. Trust me when I say I'm usually highly upset with myself when a line is said badly and isn't redone. So you may wonder, why the hell am I talking about talking and voicing things? So, when I stream, I tend to talk a good amount, which is more than I do in my usual life. I can go the whole day without uttering a word, and I like that a lot. I'm just weird like that. I just rather be quiet and vibe most of the time. I'm usually just vibing and watching YouTube videos on my own time. Also lurk in streams and play FF14 a good amount. So, no real time to actually talk or need to talk. The funny thing is that I randomly join voice chats and won't really talk unless I absolutely need to. So when I have to actually talk, my body kind of rejects that it is happening, especially during the weekend. I have to fight against myself every time I record because my body would rather just stay silent than talk for about 30 to 40 minutes. So if this is such a problem when it comes to recording, then how do I fare when it comes to streaming? Funny thing is that I am fine when I stream because my body is used to it. I also allow myself breaks to work out and prep food, which means my voice box gets some kind of rest. Again, that depends on the types of games. Most times I'm saved if the game has voice acting. Sadly, most visual novels exclude voice acting, so you, the player, will have to read out each line as you journey through the story. Again, I was talk as if you stream visual novels, since this is my perspective. Reading visual novels is a pain because you have to read every single line aloud, and if you want to fully get into it, you can also give every character a different voice. I try my best to give voices. Once the characters go over 3, I give up and just start giving more of a narrator voice. As much as I love visual novels, I shy away from it to save my voice so I isn't sore after I finish streaming. Okay, so I'm going to add this in, but not really add it. So narrator voice for me is truly the voice you just heard, like this. Or I can kind of say it like this. Or it's more of a, and then they said this. It just depends on how I feel, like how the character looks, how I feel they're going to kind of sound. So it kind of changes, but usually I always will forget what voice they're saying. Now, interesting thing is that I decided to do 2 visual novels back to back. The first one is called The Hayseed Knight, and the second one is called I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Both games were interesting in their own right, but truthfully one was more fun than the other. Now I could have made a video on both of these games, but truthfully that would be kind of mean if I did. I didn't particularly like the main character, and I felt like I wasn't in charge of my adventure for Choose Your Adventure game. There were good things about the game, but I'm not going to really start a mini review on that game. Also, you should know what game I decided to make a review of. So like I said earlier, I am not someone that plays a ton of visual novels because I rather save my voice while I stream. I also rather have some kind of action, so I'm not just reading the whole time. Also, the only reason I decided to stream this game was because I saw the dating sim tag and felt like I needed to do a theme stream. To give context, I used to do Spooktober, where I'd stream horror and thriller games for the whole month of October. Sadly, I haven't been able to do that because of work, so I decided that I would do a themed Valentine's Day stream. Also wanted to play another visual novel right after A Hayseed Knight, and that game was I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I had this game on my list of games to stream for a while, and I finally decided to step up and play it. I don't know why I decided to play another visual novel right after I just beat a visual novel, because that was an insane decision. I actually do know why I decided on that game. The reason was I was looking at dating sims in my search bar to see what game I owned that fell under the criteria. For the most part, I play all the games that I own that has dating sim tag. Besides one that I know I added for free and will not name because it has an interesting tag. The weird thing is that VRChat has a dating sim tag, which I kind of get why it has it, but that is a disturbing thing to learn. I feel like if Valorant was on Steam, then it would definitely have the dating sim tag. If you don't understand what that means, I'm happy your life hasn't been corrupted. Anyway, so I started up the game, not really knowing what to expect, except that it was a visual novel. Starting the game, you kind of get this grim scene and then start your character customization screen. Not full CC screen. Can't really decide on how your character looks, but the stats and genes they start the game with. When it comes to this game, your genetic enhancement helps with challenges you have to undertake as you play the game. There isn't really a visual aspect that changes when you choose the genetic enhancement. Well, I didn't really see it as such, but maybe it changed, and I didn't see it. If you know me, then you know I go with the intelligence-based choices in the games. There are 3 kind of stat tabs that you can level your character in. First is more emotional-based. The second is more logic-based. And the last is more physical-based. I leveled everything in the logic/intelligence-based stats because I was going to finish the game with it, even if I regretted it. So you may be wondering, what do these stats even help with in a visual novel? So you're a kid born on a ship and you make a land in a foreign world. Even though you're at the tender age of 10, you're still kind of told to attend school or help out in other ways. Helping out speeds up time, but also levels up your stats. But it would be too easy if you just took lessons and that is it. By doing certain events and befriending the other kids, you may get cards of different values. These cards are to be used for the challenges that surround this game. The more cards you have and the higher value, the more likely you will complete all these challenges. It's kind of incentivized that you do different things so that you can level your stats and also get closer to other characters. It also kind of decides what kind of adult you become when you get to the adult age. The game is very chill, but you don't have all the time in the world to get to know yourself and the people around you. This game is over once you become 20, so you have 10 years in game to find yourself and maybe find the person you want to be with as you go through your teen years to adulthood. I can't really say that this game is exciting because even though there are twists and turns in the story that is decided by your decisions, this is still a visual novel. Most action I have done is run from one building to another, or run out and discover new things on the planet. There is combat in the game, but combat is decided by getting the card's values to a certain amount, because it is kind of weird to describe. Okay, so I'm butchering this explanation on the challenge system, action decisions you made while living on this new planet. All these cards have certain number values, and some have effects. Kind of think of the challenge as a game of 21, except that you get extra experience for going over the amount needed. It is a fun and interesting mini game where you try to get the set value for the challenge, but you can fail. I thankfully never failed it because of their stress failsafe. So in this game, most activities will use up stress, and the only way to relieve your stress is to relax. I don't mean to put down the game and take a nap, but that there are ways to rest up. Also, every activity is month-based. That means anything you will do will waste a month, so you have to take that into consideration. It is a very interesting way to approach life, because every action should be taken into consideration. Reason for that is because every stat has 3 tiers you have to get through to get it to max. 1, 2, 3. You get certain benefits for each tier, but it does take a bit to get to each checkpoint. The good thing is that you can usually level up 2 different stats as you do your activities. So when I was doing again, this is added in without really anything because I'm in the screen. So when I was doing my first thing, the first thing I really did was leveling up biology. And I believe biology leveled up my reasoning. So I was getting biology and reasoning leveled up. Engineering is its own thing, organized is its own thing. But usually engineering also levels up reasoning as well. Again, this is stuff that is in the game when you actually play it and do it. I'm not going to showcase everything right now, but because I'm in the menu, I will tell you about it as best as I can. It is hard to really talk about the story because you make the story your own. Your actions decide what troubles and decisions you go through, so my story will be different from yours. I only got one character's friendship level up to max, and that was the person I was romancing. The main reason is because side characters have 2 ways for you to level up their friendship level. The first one is to spend time with them, and the second one is to give them gifts that they would like. There's another way, and that is to flirt, but I kind of feel like it fits under the first one. The best way is to do activities that include the person you want. Because I was focusing on one stat tree, which was logic, I kind of only leveled up one person. I did want to level up and see other characters' stories, but that doesn't happen unless you spend time with others. You'll see glimpses of the story because everyone grows up with you. It was very interesting to see the woes all the characters were going through, and all the baggage they brought over from Earth. I enjoyed the chill but somewhat chaotic world you make, which takes form depending on your choices that you make in the game. I didn't think I would like the game because you don't have much action at all. All the dialogue selections are influenced by your actions in game and can also help you later on. Without spoiling things, this game has a really good in-game mechanic that encourages reloading save files. So try to save every so often. Thankfully, the game also has autosave because that helped me out after having to deal with a very bad situation. So when I say your dialogue selections are influenced, I meant by the stats you have leveled. Let's say you leveled biology to a certain tier. You may get a dialogue selection for that. That also means if you didn't level up your other stats, you won't have access to that selection. But usually missing out on the selection won't hurt your run. I'm also going to add this in. So when I say like other tiers, you can get like that's going to give you certain options. The thing is, right, with this game, you see like I have empathy and creativity because that's based on the things I chose prior a few minutes selecting my character, like getting to the screen. So if I go over it, so it's 10 of 100. That means if you have a certain amount, like so let's say you need to do it, you're gonna get a selection for like empathy, so you need empathy to a certain level. It's not gonna be by tier base, right? It's going to be by how much points you have. So if I have 10 out of 100 points in empathy, I'm probably not gonna do much with my empathy. Maybe early game, but a lot of the late game like options want you to have it high enough so you can select it. If I want to choose a selection, I need probably like 80 out of 100 to even like get to choose it sometimes. So it's just based on how many points you have into your actual stat. I was happy I was able to fill out a whole skill tree because that just means I'll have more to discover in another playthrough. I feel like this game has a ton of replayability and I actually want to see all the things I missed. There's also a kind of morality skill. Not really, but I kind of want to talk about it. So, I'm also going to add this in. I'm not going to remove what I have. Again, I have it in front of me right now, so I'm able to talk about it. Which is why a lot of this is not scripted. So, here's the thing, right? You have Rebellion. It says 50 out of 100, which means you're very much neutral. So, like, because of that, I'm not rebelling because I'm neutral. But everything stat-wise will... I'm guessing it's be like diplomatic. Not really diplomatic, but like, you're under the colony's banner or whatever. They actually don't even have a name for it, just says Rebellion. But I'm guessing that side is more based on like if you're with the adults and if you're against the adults. But being with the adults is more of a, are you doing everything by the book? Are you essentially helping them out? Are you doing all this? It's very interesting. That also means that there's no actual like name for it, which I didn't know. So it probably is a name for it, but it's probably until you get into the game. In the game, some of your actions can fall on a certain side, which is you either fall in line or you're a rebel. I'm rather rebel in games, but all my options kind of fell under the first option. You can definitely tell I forgot the name of the first one, because I wasn't really dealing with the morality aspect because I had other things to worry about. As you can tell, I like this game a lot, even though I went into it knowing that this isn't my type of game. This is a life simulator with visual novel vibes, but you don't have to do all the work like in the life sim. I don't know how I would feel if there was a farming aspect to the game, but sadly, the world may never know. The things I would have liked to see was more ways to get the other characters' friendship levels up. I could only get them leveled up if I actively did an activity that the character was a part of. Thankfully, you're able to see what character is a part of the activity you want to level. 10 years in game felt like it would be long, but it went by so quickly in hindsight. I do miss playing the game, and I have a ton of questions after beating it, but I will definitely have it answered because I plan to go back to it. This isn't the type of game I cover on this channel. The story is subjective, and gameplay definitely isn't going to be everyone's taste. I enjoyed it and hope you enjoyed it too if you have played it or plan to play it. Oh, I also wish you can edit how your character looks because it's something that wouldn't hinder the gameplay. It'd be nice if the genetic enhancement wasn't the end of the character creation, but rarely enough you're creating a character throughout the whole game. Like I said, I wish you could change how their hair looked and also how they grew out their hair, but all the characters have specialized face cards. Think about it that way. It makes sense why you weren't able to change how your character looks. Maybe it changes depending on what action you choose, but I leveled up the logic tree. I didn't really get a look of intelligence for my character card. Again, I'm joking, but it would have been a nice touch depending on your selections at the end of the game. I also really enjoyed the art style for the game, and the soundtrack was really great. I believe I bought the soundtrack when I bought the game forever ago, so definitely will be played when I can bike again. Usually it's my send-off, but I'm going to do the remainders, like talking about it again. That's not going to be in the script. So, first thing is every child on the Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement by age 6. You see the first times viewers. So, this thing, we can go Eagle Eyes, which is, again, all these are just card based, so it's not really something that is going to help you right now. Is Eduardo Vargas the person to the art? Okay, I think so. So, again, I'm probably going to choose Super Strength because I'm doing a different run. and I did reasoning. What I chose the first time was Absorbing Brain, which is also a really good card. Because of Absorbing Brain, you can like basically take on everything. We're probably going to do Super Strength. Calm Temperament is also pretty good as well, but we're probably going to do Super Strength because I'm going to be leveling up a lot of this and probably trying to get up Empathy and stuff. But I'm trying to get Animals done, Perception done. I don't really think I'm going to do Combat. I kind of have a feel for what kind of character I was going to be. That's probably going to be Perception and Animals. Those two being done, and maybe some Empathy and Creativity or Bravery. Probably Bravery. Bravery's pretty good. So we're going to go with Super Strength for now. I'm going to tell them this said this, a lazy person's dream. Eat whatever you want. Don't exercise at all, and you still look like you spend all day at the gym. Be strong for your age, but you go easy on your friends. So I might change up who I chose before. So the thing is, my first one was the Studis and Mature Tangent. Not Tangent. It was the Quiet Adventures disc. So he was my kind of favorite person. I probably will choose either Cal or Anonymity, because we're going to have a lot of these cards. So again, everything is based on what helps you the most, but just based on the characters, and also I try my best not to kind of mid-max. So because of that, I was going with this because this is more of a loner, which again, he's probably going to be like who I try to get max this next playthrough. But I'm not going to go with him. But we'll probably go with Anonymity because Anonymity is adorable. And with our card, it gives you all cards become under 2, become 2. Well, all strength cards. It runs everywhere she goes. You chase after each other. The cores have pretended laser fights amid the flashing lights and noise of the engineering ring. So we get +6 outfits from the +1 from the Super Strength, and then we get +6 combat from +1 from the Super Strength. Then we get gain memory, and then plus friendship with Anonymity. So you can tell just from like doing character select, well, character creation, we already have like some type of stats already kind of piling up, which is great. So we have a good line right now. Whenever you're scrambling up on the console to get the drop on her, something you touch causes all sorts of flashing lights, screaming sirens. Dr. Ensign rushed in furious, but Anonymity steps forward and says it was our fault. It's your playing tag too. So this is bad, right? So the thing is, because of this, I would try my best not to like have it be 25 because I really do hate it. Because like my 50 is already 25, so now I'm with the adults. But I can do bad stuff. I'm probably just gonna keep it because I don't have a save file. So he's impressed by her bravery, but Ensign says she's disappointed with both of you. Seems to you that she's always disappointed with everything. You're both grounded to a quarters wing for the next few days. Not so bad because at least you're together. Well, 10 years old when the 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Their house says that it's like a doorway to other star systems with the planet Vidia 4th on the other side. You run to emergency drills for months to prepare. So this is basically when you start the game, and this is where I'm going to end. I showed you basically what everything is when it comes to this game, at least from the start. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Day finally comes, it starts to rumble, and then things start to slide off the table. You hurry to gather near the exit pods just in case. But yeah. That's really it though. Anyway, tell me if you plan to play this game, or if you have never heard of this game, but we'll add it to your wish list. Anyway, my name is Oninicubus, and that is my time. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, also a good week. Later days. Also, I love you all. Mwah. Sending consensual kisses. Love you all. Mwah, mwah. Love you. Bye. Bye. Love you. Peace.